Hey Patreon, Chris the Thrift Shop Hustler with another What Sold on eBay video for you today. We're going to have a special exclusive Patreon video for you today. We're going to go over the top 12 scarves sold in the last 90 days. There are some really crazy high price scarves that sold in the American Cancer Society eBay charity shop. I am the eBay hub manager. I run the eBay page for the American Cancer Society. It's an amazing job, great mission. It's an awesome thing. So definitely I appreciate everyone's support on Patreon. We have some new Patreons. We'd like to welcome them. Thank you very much. And like I said, you definitely make these videos happen. This is going to be an exclusive video just for you. So we're going to go from the top 12 all the way down to number 1. So we're going to go all the way to the highest priced one. We're going to start here with the lowest priced one. I'm going to tell you a little bit about each piece and maybe some info maybe you don't know about scarves. I am not a scarf expert, wrap, whatever you want to call it. Shawls, I guess some people call it in the South. So let's get right into it. Today we have this first one is this Dolce and Gabbana scarf. This is a 76 by 48. It is huge. And one of the problems you're going to face when dealing with scarves is trying to figure out how you're going to take photos of them. If you're by yourself, it's going to be really hard. Usually people will put them on the floor and all that. I really don't suggest that unless that's your very last resort. If you have, someone that can help you with the long enough, reach that they can hold it while you take photos, that's the best case scenario. You'll see how I kind of took pictures here. I kind of bundled this up and showed some of the photos here. This wasn't the greatest photos for this particular one. It did have some staining on it, and this was an amazing piece. I did some research on this. It was a really cool thing. I guess this was called Princess Mamma Mia. It was, I want to say, maybe 2017. Dolce and Gabbana did this kind of a lot of clothes and things that had this kind of cartoony kindergartner style drawings and stuff like this. So it's definitely something to look out for. And as you can see here, there wasn't any tags on this, so I really couldn't show that, but it did say, Dolce and Gabbana in here somewhere. I forget where it was. It's in here. But anyways, this wasn't the greatest photo, but this sold for $100 pretty much. Next one also is a Dolce and Gabbana. This is a 76 by 52. This is a flora, flowers, rose. You kind of want to stuff those keywords in there, and because I always usually put flora, for whatever reason, when I did my research, any of the flower prints, that goes for like pretty much anything, shoes, clothes, anything like that. I'll put flora, and I will put floral sometimes, and I'm not sure if the algorithm will pick up, if you type in flora, if floral will come up or vice versa, but I will put flowers in there. And I think these were roses, so I did put rose in there. There was a butterfly on there, so I did that. It's another Dolce Gabbana. This is actually a really nice one. The particular thing that's hard to deal with scarves is if there's no tags, it's hard to determine, what the material is unless you're, very versed in the feeling of fabrics. I'm not that good. I'm getting a little bit better, so it's hard to tell whether it's a, cotton blend, poly, cashmere, silk. Usually silk, I can tell right away. Cashmere and like wool blends sometimes are a little tougher for me to kind of decipher. But as you can see, I did take a picture of the mannequin here with it kind of wrapped around very quickly. And so you can see that this is with the butterfly and everything right there. So definitely check that out. This sold for a total of $100 right here. The next one is our first Hermes. This was a pretty crazy collection of Hermes that we got in, and this is probably one of the lower end ones, if you can believe that. This sold for $122. You can see this is a 35 by 33, so this was a little easier to take a photo of the thing opened up. And here is the Hermes logo right here. I'm not sure if this one had tags. It did. So this was the only scarf that we saw with this particular tag in it. The rest of them will kind of look like they're vintage tags or whatnot. Like I said, I'm not an expert at this, so I don't know. To me, this looked like a newer tag as far as age, and the other ones we're going to go over seem like they had, older tags. And I guess I'm pretty sure there's going to be some some fakes out there, but you could see there's some pretty high quality threading and stitching and stuff like that. And so this was just basically a mono logo, and I think this is why the size usually is a major factor when dealing with scarves. Usually the bigger, the more pricier, which in some cases in the collector's world that's a thing. The bigger, the more expensive, and this has to do with scarves too. Now, that doesn't mean like a big blue Hermes scarf is going to sell for one that's not a print, or vice versa. I'm just saying, so the bigger is usually better when it comes to scarves. And there's definitely square ones, there's rectangle ones, there's really crazy long rectangle ones like that 76 by 30 something we just saw earlier. And so for the most part, Hermes is going to be square. This one happened to be 35 by 33, which, I mean, the dimensions could be off. These are really hard to kind of measure too because they're fabric. They kind of stretch a little bit. So if you try to get an exact measurement, you could stretch it out another 1 or 2 inches. So, just try to measure this as best as you can when you're doing these. Next up is another Hermes one. This is our first kind of print one. This has got some tigers and some horses. Sitting Bull looks like he's on there over there. And I did put all that in the title. This sold for $147.50. This was a 35 by 35, and I said Sturent, or I think that's not how you say Sertient. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. This is what it said on the tag. There's the Hermes logo. It's kind of like I don't know what it is. It's like an Egyptian something, I think, over there. So I put that in the title. This is the only tag that's on this. And for the most part, if you look, Hermes will be somewhere like this on one of the, somewhere in it. And sometimes these are artist done, and you have to look for the artist name. Sometimes they're in there. I don't remember if this one had it in there. But anyways, here's the other side of this. This is not going to zoom because I think I cropped it. That's the other side of this label right here. So that's the other side of this label. Like I said, this sold for $147.50, and that is that. Next up is another blue one. This one is a 35 by 33. This is an animal. Another one of those I'm not even going to try to. Sertient. I don't know. Sertient. Anyways, these are birds. They're different birds. I think I did a close-up of the birds, of just the birds by themselves. Yeah, here it is. Looks like we got a parrot. Actually, those look like lovebirds, cockatoos, cockatiels. I think that is a cardinal. I could be wrong. But anyways, a bunch of birds. Blue. This is what the tag looked like on this one. As we can see, it's the same kind of tag. It's almost like a canvas or a linen tag here. Wait, where's the cover one? There it is. As you can see there, Hermes logo. Dip dye, Hermes Paris. And this one sold for $149. Now, kind of pro tip, so where am I going to find these, Chris? Estate sales usually is the best place to find scarves, though you could find them at thrift stores and garage sales. But for the most part, thrift stores nowadays, they know what is quality. Maybe 10 or 15 years ago, you can go to a new Goodwill and find this kind of stuff hanging on the rack, but not anymore. They're trained. I've talked to a manager, an ex-manager of one of the Goodwills, and he told me so much stuff about what happens behind the scenes in Goodwill. So for the most part, a lot of these employees are very well trained on spotting pretty much everything. The only thing that I was told that is kind of still something that you can go into Goodwill and find for a lot of money is art in glass, and I've been saying that for a long time. So anyways, definitely check that out. Next up, we have a Hermes scarf. This one happens to be a cheetah jungle love. I think it even said on it. I don't even know why I put that. I think it probably said it. I don't know why I would put jungle love in the title unless it said it somewhere. As a matter of fact, I think this one I might have looked up previous, and that's what the title was. Oh, no, I think it says jungle love up top here. Yeah, on the very top it says jungle love. I think those are two leopards or cheetahs. I did put cheetah. You know what I'm thinking? That might actually be a leopard. I think that's a leopard, not a cheetah. I'm a dummy. Anyways, you got some birds in here. There's like, I don't know if it's a parrot or a lovebird. Those look like lovebirds to me. And that would make sense. But anyways, it was kind of like a wine, kind of burgundy color. There's Hermes, Paris. This is another Sir. I can't even. I'm not even gonna try. Sir Tient, Tient label. It's kind of like a canvas linen kind of label, and that's what it looks like. This is a 35 by 35. This is a little easier to kind of photograph. Next year, I think I'm gonna build the poster wall up a little bit more. As we saw, there was our previous video about how to make a poster wall using magnets. I think if I stack 2 more of those metal sheets next to the middle one, I should be big enough to do these photos for these. Like I said, I took some more photos of the mannequin. Don't mind the crazy, the crazy thing on there. Anyways, that was that one. Another Hermes. This was from Stockton, California. Shout out to Paula. This sold for $200. It was a newer one in a box. As you can see here, you can see the different tags. This happens to be. I wouldn't say. I don't know if this is a newer one. I'm not, like I said, I'm not versed in that. But there's the artist. Remember, I was saying sometimes the Hermes ones will have artist signatures, or I don't want to call them signature because they're not really signed with markers or anything. But you know, they're signed kind of inside of the thing. So definitely look out for that. Did they use that in? Yeah, they did. So good in the title. Like I said, it's an abbreviation. Obviously, I didn't know that. So Rabal is, I guess, this whole Rabal Chenenko. I don't know. Very cool. Like I said, that's going to say Hermes. It's going to have a tag. When you're kind of selling these, just make sure that you take a good look at them. And there's no obvious stainings. Though I will put in the condition that could have small stains that we couldn't see, or rips or holes or stuff that to the naked eye we couldn't see, because sometimes these holes and things are really small and you can't really see them too well. So this one sold. This one actually had the box. I want to think this is the only one we had. This wasn't one that I sold, but this is kind of. Is there a cover of the box? No. Kind of usually these kind of off orange boxes the Hermes ones will be in, as you can see here. Next up is probably a brand you never heard of, Alexander McQueen. Definitely look out for that brand. It's a Bolo brand. His scarves go for crazy amounts of money, especially the skull ones. This one happens to be, I said kaleidoscope. I probably should have put like psychedelic or whatever. This was another cool scarf. This one was a 52 by 52. Did I take a photo of it of all stretched out? No, I didn't. So anyways, like that's the logo, by the way. It's going to be a Q with a C in the middle. If you ever, it's kind of like the Wizard of Oz a little bit. If you ever see that logo, definitely, take a second look at it. I don't think that these have tags, though. The lady that owned all these was known for ripping out tags in the scarves. So a lot of the scarves didn't have the tags. Luckily, the Hermes ones did, or else that would have probably dropped the value somewhat. I don't know exactly, the ins and outs of scarves, but I can imagine if the Hermes tags were pulled out, they wouldn't have gone for the crazy prices that they do, and we're going to see that just in a second here. Speaking of Hermes, this is kind of like a print one. This was a Hermes scarf. This was a 55 by 53. I'm not even going to try to butcher this guy's name. This is another artist one. I tried to take the whole photo of the whole thing, as we can see here, and I failed pretty much miserably. I should have had one of the volunteers help me take the photo, and I was such in a rush to do these. There's camels, I think that's what that says. And I could have sworn I put so those are what the tags look like. They're different from the other ones, as we can see here. This one had a little bit of staining. What I do is I will point out staining and kind of imperfections if I do come across them. Definitely highly. So there's the Hermes thing right there. This one sold for $305. This was a pretty crazy sale. All bids. I did start them all at $100, by the way. So if you're wondering, I did start all the Hermeses at $100. I would probably suggest doing that. The thing is, the collectors are all over this stuff, and this sold Christmas Eve. And in hindsight, I probably should have sold this after the New Year's and all the holidays, because Just think about all the people that were doing stuff on Christmas Eve that didn't see this auction go down. So it's kind of one of those tricks of the trade is to kind of know when to end an auction. And like I said, I did these a week before and didn't even think about, oh shoot, you know, like this is going to be Christmas Eve when this ends. But it didn't go for $305. Here's the top three. This is a scarf. This is actually me stretched out. This is a 52 by 51. As we can see here, had a volunteer take the photo of this so you can actually see it. This is another cool print. I thought this was actually like a three. I want to say 4-leaf clover, but a 3-leaf clover, but it wasn't, or 4-leaf clover, but it's not. Anyways, this one had some. I think this one had some. There it is. I think actually that looked pretty good. You know, on the model and everything that kind of shows. There's the tag ripped out. Here's so this one sold for $402, and the tag was even ripped out. So think about that. And this was Soleil de Soleil. I think that's sun. Solar, sun, solar, sun de something, sun de sun. I don't know what it is. But like I said, every Hermes piece, for the most part, there's going to have some of them will have the artist signature, as we can see there. And then some will have, or most of them will all say Hermes somewhere in the print. As you can see here, you know, Hermes is going to have high quality. The thread count's amazing. The colors are amazing. See how so much high quality that is? Like I said, I'm not versed in counterfeit, so I couldn't say, you know, what a counterfeit looks like, but I can imagine it's not this high quality. Hermes scarves go for a crazy amount of money because of pretty much the name. Well, obviously, that's the first thing, but the quality is pretty good too. Here we go for the top two. This one sold for $410. This one is from Pleasanton, California. Here we go. That's actually a really good shot of the whole thing stretched out. This is how you take a photo of a scarf, you know, if you have an extra set of hands. This one happens to be, did it say the size of this one? No, I'm curious. I'm guessing this is a 30-something by 30-something. Maybe a 35 by 33 or a 35 by 35. That's the box. This is what the label looks like. I wonder if they actually took a photo of any more stuff there. The inside of the box. The boxes could be faked very easily, though I will say Hermes boxes are actually pretty well built too. So it's like, you know, hey, does the box look all messed up or weird? Does the scarf look all weird? Maybe something's off. But another floral pattern, as you can see, Hermes. Actually, this was actually, I don't know if this is a shot upside down, by the way. Hermeses are kind of like so thin. They're kind of like they almost like have a double-sided print to them. And so this is looking at the back side of it. And it's kind of upside down too. Well, it's sideways, I should say. It's not upside down. Those look like lilies. I could be wrong. Or tulips, actually. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if you think that's a tulip or a lily. I'm not, like I said, there's so many things as a guy I don't know about, especially flower stuff. Did they say flower, floral? Okay, they put floral in the title, so that's a good thing. We give them stuff with that. Original box. This is a great sale. This sold December 15th for $410. The number one sale was this one for $415. It was kind of the same like the other brown or green one, this one, but it was a red one. Same print. That's the label. I think this one actually had, so this one actually had its label. That's what it looks like on the mannequin. This is what it looks like bunched up. I was doing these kind of bunched up photos too. And like I said, these are super, there's a stain, as you know, I'm pointing out. Like I said, point out stains if you can. You get 12 photos, you might as well use them. Another pro tip is our last photo. I usually will put our information on our store. I definitely suggest doing that as far as like if you have a store or a physical location where people can pick it up. So this is relevant information for us because we have local pickup. So they can contact us or meet us here at the Discovery Shop. And if you're in Burbank, definitely come and check it out. So that is the top 12 that we sold. I hope you enjoyed this video. That sold for over about $2,800 plus in money raised for cancer research. Pretty good sales. I hope you guys have a little bit of insight more about looking for scarves. Hermes is definitely the top of the top, though there's lots of different brands. And we might do another video sometime in 2020 about the different brands, because there's probably like 4 or 5 brands we sold that were under $100 that are still relevant. So we'll talk about that in the next video. So once again, I'm Chris, Thrift Shop Hustler. Thank you, Patreon, for all that you do. I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Take care.